Hey everybody, we have come here to Coastal Power Sports in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. We're up here in the Panhandle, and I am standing in front of a whole lineup of motorcycles right here. It's pretty cool, actually. The manager here asked me if I wanted to take a bike for a test ride. Well, you know, I've been riding for about 50 plus years, so I thought, well, okay, a test ride, I've ridden a lot of stuff, but he said, well, this one is going to be a little bit different. So what I'd like to do is go over here and kind of show you what that difference is. This baby right here. Look at this Hummer. This is the all-electric Zero SRF. All right, so like I said before, this is a company called Zero. They're a California-based company, so this is another American-made motorcycle. This baby right here is Zero's most recent electric bike, made for 2020. It's got a rather sporty look to it. A lot of the bikes that they had before this looked just like electric bikes. But this thing, oh my goodness. What a sporty looking bugger this is. Kind of adventurous looking if you ask me. Anyway, this thing has 110 horsepower and it'll take you from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. And I think that has a lot to do with this little thing back here. We'll talk about that in a second. And that acceleration, that's a constant acceleration. There's no shifting. There's no clutch. There's no gear lever down there. Nothing down there to be shifting on. Nothing over here on the handlebar to be pulling on. It's all go. This is Zero's most powerful bike to date. Speaking of power, let's take a look at this power. This thing right here in the middle. This great big thing right here. This is the battery. 14.4 kilowatt hours lithium ion battery. What a beast. That thing will charge your cell phone a little bit. That battery is connected to this little baby back here, the Z475-10. Now that is the electric motor that drives this thing. That electric motor sits right behind the battery and will deliver about 110 horsepower at nearly 150 foot-pounds of torque. And that's constant. It's not shifting, that's constant. The wheels on this baby are Pirelli. And look at this back one here. This thing's got some meat on it. I like it. I like it a lot. Those are J. Juan cylinders right there. The front has 4 pistons spread out over 2 different calipers. And in the back, it's 2 pistons on a single. I think that'll work pretty darn well for pulling the speed down on this thing. This thing also has regenerative braking on it. I think that depends a lot on what mode you're actually in though. Speaking of modes, this thing has 4 different riding modes that are available. It has eco mode, rain mode, sport mode, and street. And then if you want, with controls on the handlebar, you can change those modes. I think there's a mode switch right there. And yes, somewhere on that handlebar is a cruise control. I will figure that out eventually. We're getting ready to go for a ride. Well, how far can this thing go? On a full charge, they're saying you can get about anywhere from 160 to 200 miles in the city. Now that distance is cut down significantly if you're out driving it on the freeway and cranking out 65, 70 miles an hour constantly. It goes down to about 70 to 80 miles. This thing supports both level 1 and level 2 charging, and it has a standard 1772 connector, which is the same type of connector that they use on the cars, and that connector, I believe, is right in here. Yes, that's it right there. Now, if you have the app on your phone for this bike and you're charging, let's say you're in the city and you're wanting to stop off for a coffee or something, and there's a charging station and there's a bunch of cars over there, you can plug this thing in, turn on your app, bring up your app and set this thing up, and the thing will let you know your state of charge. It'll let you know when it's topped off, and it'll even let you know if somebody's out there mucking around with your bike. You have full information displayed right on your phone. I think it looks the business. All right. Well, I think we've talked about this baby enough. I'm going to go inside and see if I can't get those guys to come on out, and we'll take this thing for a little bit of a test ride. What do you think? I'm stoked about this. All right, so here we are sitting on the Zero SRF, and I've got Justin out here. He is like the guy here at South or Coastal Power Sports.
Power Sports.
Yes.
They call me the Zero Hero. I know more about them than everyone, I guess, around here with our guys.
All right, excellent.
Well, we're getting ready to go on a test ride, so what we're going to do is show you how to operate some of the features of this bike before we go for a roll. Right now what we're seeing, of course, is that we have a little picture of the kickstand and the kill switch. That's just letting us know both those safety features are active. So right now this throttle is not going to do anything for us. That's, of course, by design for safety.
Perfect.
We toggle our engine stop switch. Most bikes have, of course, killed the motor. This one's already on. We see that disappear, and we're just down to kickstand. We want to be real careful once we put that up to not mess with the throttle, because we see our green arrow up here. That means this bike is live and ready to go. So if you grab a hand through a throttle, you're going to run me over and end up on Mary Esther. We don't want to see that.
We won't do that.
If we re-engage any of these, of course, we see that come back for safety. Over here, we kind of got our multi-function button. With any of the safety switches on, and we activate this button to access any of our mode features, what we're going to see is a different kind of set of menus. This is kind of pre-ride. This is pairing your phone. This is doing some of that stuff before you go for a ride. And we can click through all those. Some of these features, of course, available on the app, or you can do it without your phone through some of here. We can mess with some of the settings and do that kind of stuff. Turn our ABS on and off and things like that. Of course, we want that on today because we want to be safe.
Okay.
So if we're in here and we're done with all those things, we can back out of the menu, or we can just go live. Like I said, of course, we always want to be careful with that when we're live. But what you're going to see now is when we push this mode button and things like that, we're going to get some differences. If we push this to the right, we have our control of our traction, and we can mess with our traction settings. We're in eco mode to start right now, so we want traction control. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. If we push this button in, you're going to see our mode flash up at the top. We can go left or right to go through our 4 pre-programmed modes, as well as you'll see custom, and that's, again, pairing with the app and the phone. We can mess with the torque and the regenerative braking, and we can mess with all those and make them how we want them to be. Really customize it to your ride.
Perfect.
We always want people to start in eco because these bikes have ridiculous power, and it's definitely worth getting a feel for that response. So we've got eco, range, street, and sport. Associated traction controls by default go with those modes as well. You'll see it flashing. We cycle till the mode we see is up, and all we do is click the button again, and that mode will be active. So as we get ready to go on a ride, I'm going to have you start in eco. I want you to get a feel for how that response is like that. Once we're rolling down the road a little bit, you kind of get a feel for it, maybe take a corner. Feel free to put it in sport and street. You should feel the power of this bike. You can do that while you're riding. Of course, we want to safely make sure we're watching the road and watching the screen. Is hold that button, go left or right, click it again on the one we want. A safety feature Zero put in is it's not going to activate that mode until you let off the throttle for just a second.
Okay.
So we can be in eco, we can be coasting a little bit, we can swap into sport mode, roll off the throttle, and when we re-pull the throttle, it's going to be in that new mode, and it's night and day.
All right. Let me try that once. You say push it in, and now the mode.
So we see it flashing.
And I go left or right, and it'll change.
Either way.
There's
Check
street.
the colors associated with them. When you make your own, you can pick the
Sport.
name and the color and
Custom. Okay, now that's the custom mode. That
paired mode. Right now,
you can change that with your phone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you're
okay.
messing with the neutral regen braking, the brake activated regen, as well as your torque, your max speed, and your traction control, as well as even the color and the name it shows up on. So
Okay.
custom is the means, but you can call it anything you want. You can store 10 of those in the app and keep one active at all times in the bike.
Okay.
Plenty of options as far as tuning this power to how you like it.
So now it went back to eco. That's because after I went to another one of those modes, I didn't push it in again to select it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you didn't select it, and like I said,
Perfect.
I believe it still flashes, but you'll know if you switch it and you clicked it, just roll off all the way on that throttle to 0% for a second, and when you grab it again, just be safe that you know eco and street are pretty drastically different. So we'll go for a ride, and you'll just have to tell me what you think.
All right. I'll do that.
All right.
Okay. I think we are ready to hit this thing. We'll see how this thing goes. Go ahead. This is the guy that runs the shop right here, and he's going to come with me, which is fine because I want to get a couple of videos of this thing. I mean, God, it's absolutely silent. Holy mackerel! This is weird. There is absolutely no shifting, nothing going on here. Wow. Wow. This is way different. Oh, I got regenerative braking. I feel it. You let off the throttle as soon as it hits the stop. I'm coming down very quickly. Let's do that again. Oh yeah, look at that. It's pulling it down right now. It's actually pushing me forward in the seat. That's some pretty decent braking right there. Of course, if you come off the stop just a little bit with the throttle, it just continues to free roll, which I suppose is okay. Wow, this thing gets after it, and we're in eco mode. Holy mackerel. This is a get her done kind of thing right here. You hear it? Wow. This thing's cool. This thing's really cool. I'll wait for him to get out of here. Now listen to this thing as we take off. Zowie. This thing really gets after it. I think we're going on a little ride. Man, listen to this thing. I mean, it is not a slouch, this thing. I don't know how much of this bike you can see while I'm riding, but I'm hoping you can see something of it. I mean, I'm not slamming gears. I'm not doing anything. This is just all go. Constant pull, pull, pull. And we're in flipping eco mode, for God's sakes. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Sweet. I mean, this thing just sits here, static as heck. No moving parts. It's just waiting for you to tell it to go. Phenomenal. And here we go. Little crack of the throttle. And that's exactly what we're doing. And you don't hear anything. It's like a whisper. All you're going to get is noise off my helmet. And seeing how we're doing only 28 right now, kind of in the city, I'm going to keep my helmet up a crack because it sounds better. Once we get out someplace and I'm doing only 55 or 60, I'll close her up. Good. Yeah, you can feel the regenerative braking, even in eco mode. Is that regenerative braking on in all the modes?
Not really in sport and street. Definitely eco, but I still think the eco is pretty honest compared to what you can.
Okay. So he says it's definitely in eco mode, probably because it adds power back into the battery. That's the whole idea behind it. And then it's not so much in sport and street. Well, we're going to check that out. Once I get out here a little farther, do a few more corners, I'm going to stick it up into one of those other two and just see what we got. I go from some menial little speed all the way up to like 50. Probably shouldn't get too crazy because I think that's a cop sitting right there. Yeah, these darn cops. Or is it? Nope, somebody went out and bought a police car at an auction. That's what it is. This thing would be great if it had a little windscreen on it like the one I have. I mean, I don't mind being out in the wind, but if you're going to be talking a lot, wind noise really can be a problem. Man, it really pulls down the speed. Good grief, it's even pulling right now. Wow. Yeah, that braking really gets after it.
So there's one that you just let off, and then when you apply the brakes, there's actually a second level of regenerative braking.
Oh. He says when you let off, you get one level, and then if you start pulling the brake, it brings in a second one. Very good. This thing is really neat. Little change of plan here, I think, huh? I keep thinking I need the shift. Oh my God, but I don't. Just hit it. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to bring on a different mode here. If he wants to pass this guy, which is fine by me. Oh snap, we're already doing 62. I wonder if I can keep the front wheel on the ground when we're in sport mode. I guess we will find that out. Now I've put it in street mode. I mean, I did that on the fly. I don't know if you can see it, but we are in street mode there. Oh geez. That's significantly more acceleration than it was in Eco. Holy mackerel. Yes, that thing just cranks. Okay, we're going to see what we got here real quick. Well, not too shabby right there. That was full. I pegged the throttle on that one, and that's in street mode. So I don't know if you can get a feel for that as you're watching or not, but it's got a lot of acceleration. Since I've got a little ways to go here, let's go to sport. There we are. Now we're in sport mode, I think. Yeah, you got to let off the throttle. You got to take the throttle back to 0. Now see, it doesn't have as hard of regenerative braking in this mode, I can tell. But it does have a little bit. When the throttle is all the way to the stop, I can feel it pulling down just a little bit, and when you come off of it just a skosh, it comes back to more of a coast, actually, like riding around with the clutch in. We've gone to sport mode. Big difference. Oh my God. I noticed right off the bat when I went there that your regenerative braking is significantly less in sport mode when you're all the way off the throttle. Good grief, I'm not cracking the throttle hardly at all. Good God, man. Holy shoot. Let's see if we can see this. We're doing 34. All right, now we're doing 66. Good grief. Holy mackerel. Sport mode. That's it right there. Good God. I bet you could get the front end up off the ground on this thing if you tried hard enough. I think I saw somebody on the internet riding a wheelie on one of these. I'm not sure how they did that. Gotta be a way. But this thing right here in sport mode, this is a beast right here. Yeah, I knew where we are. We're coming up on, this is going to be Mary Esther in a few blocks, and then we're going to take a right. I've been on this before. Oh my goodness. Holy mackerel. This mode is a beast. My God, man, this thing just pulls. Phenomenal. I like it. And there's no clutching, there's no shifting down, there's no banging gears. I know that's what he's doing over there on my bike. But it's just a constant go. Oh, God. Okay, I got cruise control engaged. It is actually engaged. Cool. A little tap on the front brake and it comes off. That's pretty cool right there. Alright, I think this is Mary Esther up here. We're going to hang a right. But, my God, I'll tell you what, sport mode is just unbelievable. Unbelievable, my goodness. Here we go, let's see what this thing's got. Yeah, I can see 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Easy. Oh my goodness. Easy. Well, this has been a whole lot of fun, man. I'll tell you what. I'm very impressed with this motorcycle. This thing just gets after it. These different modes of operation that this thing has, it has a riding mode for just about anybody. Good grief. I mean, if you don't have experience, I would definitely stay out of this one. This thing here is a beast with this in sport mode. But I like it. Oh my gosh. Probably where I would hang out. This is like, I've got modes on that bike, and this would be like it being in A mode. Because that thing gets after it in A mode. I drive around mostly in street on that one though. I think if I had this, I would probably stay in street too. But if you're trying to be economical, I think eco mode would be the place to be for that power-minded rider right here. Yeah, baby. This has been a fun little ride. This thing is just so nice and quiet. My goodness, man. We'll pull her in right here. Don't have to shut the engine off. Now see there? I got kickstand down. I got my switch in off. It shows all that. We're down to 88. Not too shabby. All right. Outstanding. Look at that baby. Sweet. All right there, sweetheart. Keep your shiny bits up. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. She's come out to get the bike and to put it away. That was a fun ride. That was our test ride right there. She's gonna go stick it in the showroom. Bye! Alright, we are gonna jump on our beast to ride right here. Starts right up. Got a brand new battery in it. God, why wouldn't it? Goodness. Alright, let's go ahead and say goodbye to Coastal Power Sports and our test drive on the Zero SRF. Outstanding. That thing is a monster. It's okay. I love it. Good grief. So that was it. That's my ride for the day. I came out here with this whole episode in mind right here. We were going to do a test ride of an all-electric motorcycle. The Zero SRF. What a beast that thing is. It's really nice to not have to shift and just to throttle on and go. I mean, it feels so nice, and it's got tons of power. Oh my gosh, that thing's got tons of power. especially in street and especially in sport. Oh my gosh, that thing is just loaded with go. Well, I would like to thank everybody for riding along with me today as we explored the world of electric motorcycles. I had a blast doing this today. It was a lot of fun. I sure hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give us a like. If you'd like to join us on some more of these kind of adventures, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you along. So, from the northwest corner of Florida here on the Emerald Coast, I'll sign off by saying arrivederci.